sometimes you like a developing pitcher to have a little bit of adversity in the minor leagues, and that way you see how they get through it. And yesterday was an example of how Painter was able to get through it. So that's a good box that they wanted to check off. Not only that, it was the first time he ever pitched, Bob, on 4 days rest at the professional level. Anyway, so that was kind of an important thing for the Phillies to see too, and he pitched really well. So I think he's closer than further. It's just going to be curious to see what happens.
If I put the betting line at the All-Star break, would you go before or after?
I would like to think that this has a lot to do with what happens with Mick Abel tonight and maybe his next start. So if Mick Abel comes out and rebound, like he didn't have a great start, it wasn't a bad start his last outing, but it wasn't as good as the first two, right? Let's be honest. So now you kind of want to see how does Mick Abel respond, to the last start that he had. And so if he comes out and he rebounds nicely against the Marlins, and it looks like he's going to pitch against the Mets, right? Let's see how he does in those two. And at that point, maybe you reassess and you sit there and go, okay, Mick Abel can stick into this rotation until we need him to, because he comes out and pitched really well. 4 out of 5 starts at the major league level have been good. But if he comes out tonight and his next start against the Mets and he's not as good and he gets hit around a little bit and you start to see some question marks inside his own head kind of thing, things that like he experienced a year ago, for example, well, then maybe you get Painter up here sooner. And I think that's what's going to be the indicator.